We should get started, and then hopefully, we do have a few things to vote on, and Stephen will be a new member, but, and I'm sorry, I wasn't in today. I just saw that you sent me an email.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, I'm sorry that's taken so long. It's been some craziness.
yes, I
So,
understand.
sorry about that.
Believe me. So Stephen isn't yet appointed, so he isn't able to vote. Carol can sit in for a permanent member, but we do need one more permanent member to vote. So we'll just, so we can't even ratify the minutes, right? We need to have, yeah, okay, so we will hold off on that. I'm gonna put hold here. Okay, so,
As a non-voting member, I just support everything you're saying.
that's great. That's,
For what
yes,
it's
please
worth.
do.
For what
Even
it's
when you
worth.
vote, please. Okay, so we'll get started. So we do have two new board members. Colin was not able to join us tonight. He is in the middle of tax season and he's just overwhelmed. But we do have Stephen Lucas from Life Church here. We're thrilled to have join us, very excited. So you've met all of us at this point, so welcome. Thank you. Okay. So.
What was Colin's last name?
It's, I don't know how to pronounce it. H-A-B-I-G.
It's Habib.
Habib? Something like that. Sorry. I can get you the spelling later. Sorry. So old business. Festival of Lights. Our debrief. We have any comments, feedback? What was good? What was not good? What could we improve?
Let's hold it in July.
That would be great.
Then it will be warmer.
Yeah.
I think it was definitely easier to see. Like, there was more lights. Obviously, the new lights in the common helped, but I feel like it wasn't as dark. Meaning, like, aside from the lights being lit up, just being able to see, like, where the tables are and where to go and stuff like that. I thought it went well.
Just want to take a look this way. Anything to do better? Always? We have to figure out a way to turn on all those lights at the same time.
Yeah.
The lights, I have to say, were kind of an issue, in my opinion. A lot of them were not lit even after we threw the switches. There were big segments of the fence that didn't light up. And I had done a dry run,
Yeah.
and those lights stayed out for the entire season.
Really?
Yeah. And many of those were new.
And I know they were new,
Yeah.
but I strongly feel we need to put some fundraising or something around getting, like, bright LED lights and make it look nice. It's always just not.
Maybe see if somebody can sponsor it.
Yeah,
Business.
we just need help with it. And I know the highway department does a great job, but we need the aesthetics of it to step it up.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think the Santa line should go the opposite side, because they would not go outside the fence, no matter how many times I try to coax them into going up there, they would not go outside the fence throughout that way.
So when you say the opposite side, what does that mean?
To make it turn, like,
Yeah.
like you wanted
So
it,
they,
yeah.
because they went to the left.
If you're
Okay.
facing the house, they went to the left,
Okay,
yes.
so I'd rather have them come in on the right side and line up that way like they, because they were used to that, so they wanted to do that. Every year, they'd always go in that way, so, they didn't even want to come down from the, where the Santa car would come off, they didn't even want to come down there and into it, they wanted to stand over there. It
You've
was
totally lost me.
constant-
So when you're looking at the Santa house, the line always came from the right-hand side. This past year, it came from the left. So she's saying it screwed people up who were used to it going to the right. I think it's a small tweak. I think we also didn't know exactly where the house was going to be and all that. So I think it's fine if next year we just have them line up to the right-hand side. It's not a big.
It doesn't really matter, as
Yeah.
long as it keeps moving. That's the big thing.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, because originally we talked about having them go outside the fence. And they
Yeah,
didn't want to do that.
that's why she was there, because we wanted it to turn and go on the sidewalk.
Well, we just wanted to keep it out of the line of the people trying to mill around and
Yeah.
get to, they actually stood in the snow instead of on the walkway, which, I didn't want them on the walkway, that was the issue. I mean, I did, but outside of the commons,
Yeah.
so that way people who were trying to walk could walk.
Yeah.
But instead, they chose to stand in the
Yeah.
snow, which was kind of unusual, but that's what they want to do, that's what they
Yeah.
want to do.
Is
think-
there, oh,
Yes.
sorry, you go.
No, go ahead.
Is there like a media company or anything in Norton that does any lighting or something that could, like, they donated some of their stuff just for use in the event and used it as like a sponsorship, like a lighting or like production
lighting
type,
company,
like
yeah.
production or
Yeah.
something like that.
Well, NEMA, so Norton Media does have lighting. We didn't ask them. We had,
I'm thinking like not like an emergency place that has like the floodlights, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about like a
Like a
maybe
production, like Norton Singers,
Yeah.
does Norton Singers have like a production company that they use, like props or and lights and things like that?
Yeah, but isn't one of the main things about the Festival of Lights is it gets lit up and then it stays, you know, it stays lit up the
Gotcha.
nights following, you know what I mean?
yeah, so the production lights couldn't stay, obviously.
Yeah.
It would just be for the
Okay.
festival, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless
Um,
you guys have like a big opening night
yes, well,
thing
we
then.
try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just had some issues with the lights this year, and I guess we've had them with lights in the past, but,
Yeah.
Yeah,
every year.
so,
Never stays
um,
lit the whole time.
so there was a little bit of a controversy with the menorah, because the menorah was not present and the nativity scene was. And this was my first time doing the festival, so I thought that everything belonged to the town, and that's not true. The menorah belongs to a private citizen who, at the appropriate time, puts it on the common, takes care of the lighting, and then takes it back. The citizen paid for it and made it and did everything else. And he was traveling, so it didn't show up as soon as it was supposed to, and people were a little miffed. Then I got calls because the menorah was plugged into the side of the common that did not light up. So so the person who was doing the lights to turn on, every day, couldn't get the power. So we have a real issue with the lights
Yeah.
on the common, and it's
Is this something,
electrical.
like, next year, we can like, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks before, do a drive run with Keith and, you know, periodically, you know, every other day or maybe at least 2 or 3 times before the actual Festival of Lights, keep, you know,
Or,
dry running it and making any sort of corrections that need to be.
I did do a dry run, it wasn't with Keith, it was
Right.
with a couple of the highway guys, and everything worked on the day that I did it,
Okay.
which was, it was supposed to be the day, so it was the week before, yeah.
Maybe, maybe do a final dry run the last working day before the Festival of Lights. You know what I mean? Like a day that they're gonna be at work, you know what I mean? But schedule it with like Keith or his guys or something so that, you know, if the Festival of Lights, just say it's on a Sunday, do it on that, the Friday before, and have, you know, Keith or his guys with you, so do your final dry run then.
Yeah, I think I actually did it on the Thursday, because I don't work on the Fridays, but I think that was the day.
all right, I also have an idea.
Yeah.
What if we could talk to the people who put together La Salette? It's like a 3-guy crew that sets us up.
Okay?
One of the guy who originally started all this, he actually was a Norton resident, and he passed away 2 years ago now.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. What if we spoke to them sometime over the summer and kind of picked their brain and said, how do you do all this? I will tell you, we had the opportunity to turn the lights on Christmas Eve, and it's one switch that lights up that whole place.
That's
So they know how to maneuver things and could at least give us some guidance. Not saying that they need to come help us, but maybe they could sit down with us, sit down with Keith, and try to pick their brains a little bit.
Absolutely, we could meet with them. I think at the end of the day, the bottom line is we don't have the money to make it one switch. Because it is Some are
Different.
fuses, some are one of those things you lift up, some
you
are
just
literally
plug in.
plugs
I know.
that you have to do. So it's like nothing talks to anything because I'm going to assume that it's been added, new sections have been added and they just haven't connected it to the old, but I really don't know that
Yeah.
that's true. But yeah, that'd be
But
great.
maybe
if we
it's
could-
worth a conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
It seems really weird that we just redid that common and that none of the electrical, like, is interconnected.
I did.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that wasn't a thought.
Yeah, that's just weird to me.
Yeah, well, welcome to Norm.
That's what I keep being told.
Yes. But yeah, to me, the lights were the biggest issue in many ways. And with everything, with all the budget issues the town is having, I don't see it as being a priority for,
Yeah, no.
because I don't even know what else the electricity is used on the common for what else, if it's beyond this event. So obviously it'd be a really
Nothing, since
low
we're not allowed
priority.
to go on that common anyway, so.
Yeah.
It's a bigger issue.
Yeah, so I don't know if I talked about that later, okay. It's a long agenda. Any other thoughts?
No?
I think Santa letters went okay. I think the cookies
Yep.
and hot chocolate went okay. That was about the extent.
I
of-
think the dancers, the singers, I think all that was good.
Mm-hmm. Good. Okay, Corey forms. You all have Corey forms in your packets. Please, they need to be completed, and you have to bring them to the treasurer's office with ID. And those have to be done every year, and it's mandatory.
Whose office?
The treasurer's office. So first floor, as soon as, if you come in the front door, straight ahead once
Okay.
you come in this little side. Okay, so advertising rates. Let's see what happens if we end up with more on that. Okay, so lifeguards. I don't know if you noticed on the flyer that I passed around, but we had a real issue last year with lifeguards, and Stephen, just to bring you up to speed. So the pool is rented out on weekends as we can. All of the lifeguard salaries, which is roughly about $22,000 a year to pay the salaries of the lifeguards, we have to raise all that money because the town does not support that. They do support the maintenance of the pool, but the salaries connected to the pool, we have to, that's why we rent. So it's important for us, because we have rentals right through Labor Day, that we keep the pool open through Labor Day. All the other towns around here close the pools in the middle of August, and I didn't understand why until we got too close to the middle of August, and all of the college kids go back to school. And that leaves just high school kids to cover. The pool is open 7 days a week. So I got really lucky because we had a prior lifeguard who graduated from college, who came home and didn't have a job, so he helped fill in the gaps, and we got through, but it was really scary for a while. This year, I have no high school students. I have only college students. I already have 10 rentals for this summer, including 3 that are after that midway point. So if we close the pool, I have 3 rentals to cancel. So the goal is not to close the pool. So I have been, there's also a nationwide shortage of lifeguards. So I met with the town manager, and we came up with a program where it's $275 to get your initial certification to be a lifeguard. So after the completion of the first summer, from these earnings, from these rentals, we reimburse the guard half of their certification fee, and if they come back and do a second summer, we will pay the second half.
So it's a 2-year commitment.
It's a 2-year commitment, yeah. And we're doing it, as a reimbursement so that they stay. If they don't come back the second year, they don't get they don't get it reimbursed. So I've had several inquiries. I've got a couple of interviews set up this week. And luckily they're all high school kids. I'm working I'm intending to reach out to the guidance counselors over at the high school to see if she can recruit people, and I hope
Say
to.
like the YMCA, you could, if they would like post that.
Yes, so what happens at the Y? The Y is a little tricky. So the Y needs a bazillion lifeguards, and they hire the people that come to their training camps.
So they don't.
So, yeah, so I know that Attleboro Parks and Rec, because they have so many ponds and pools in Attleboro, they need to hire 50 to get through the summer, and they directly compete with the Y. So they pay a higher hourly wage in order to get, because the Y they need them. And there is a shortage. So this was our way of trying to do this. And honestly, if you're going to be a lifeguard, Everett Leonard Pool is a lot better place to do it than at, sitting in a Y. In my opinion, it's a lot less congested. It's just a nicer environment, and a lot less stressful. So, so this is what we're working on now. Obviously, we'll have to raise the money to reimburse these costs as well. So,
Theoretically speaking, just say the interviews you do have lined up, just say they all go great and you want to hire all of them. How many, does that still leave you with a shortage or?
I would say, so high school kids, especially new ones, so safety is the biggest issue. You have to be sure that they're, 15, in some cases they're 15. You have to be sure that they're serious-minded enough because, first of all, no phones are allowed at the pool. But, they can't be goofing off.
Right.
I can't be chit-chatting with Heather. I have to be watching who's in the pool. So, I don't know. I'm hoping we can get like 6. Would be good.
And how many interviews do you have lined up?
Right now, 3.
3, and then
Yeah.
you have anybody returning?
Yeah, as far as I know, my
Oh, so
whole college.
You're looking at 6 new hires.
Correct.
Completely new. Okay,
Right.
gotcha.
And they can do a little bit, they can do some during the regular part of the summer, but I'm really focused on those last 3 weeks. And of course, Labor Day is the 6th this year, so I not only need the last 2 weeks of August, I need the first week of September. Last year was like the 3rd or something, so I have that whole other week to staff. And I'm hoping that school doesn't start until after Labor Day this year. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and I don't know.
I don't think it ever starts in Norton before Labor Day.
Yeah, I think it's always
Other schools
after.
do that, but I don't think Norton ever
Yeah.
has done that.
Yeah,
think
I hope
they-
that's the case. I know TPC is not happening in Labor Day weekend this year. I think it's
Really?
earlier.
No, I think it is this year.
It's
No,
their
but I think it's in
year.
August. I think they changed the date. That's
In
what I was told.
August?
Yeah.
I thought it was always in May.
No, it was always Labor Day weekend.
Is TPC that golf thing?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. But,
I know it's our year.
yeah. So usually they don't start school before that because they need the parking lots and everything else, and they bus them in,
Yes.
but,
And I think that was the main reason that they always started after Labor Day was because of that.
yeah.
Do any of the local high schools have swim teams?
Yeah, so I'm hoping to talk to the swim team here in Norton. Turns out that Foxborough does not have a pool, so they use the Y pool. So I'm hoping that I can get in to talk to their swim team, or at least get flyers to them, and also post it. I mean, you don't have to be a member of the swim team to be a lifeguard, so,
Norton
Well, I
uses
was-
Wheaton, right?
say again?
Norton uses Wheaton.
Yes.
Pool.
I was just thinking.
No, but they don't have a town pool to staff,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, so their swim team, they might work for the Y, but this would just give them another option.
Yeah.
You know,
Are you right, it's in August this year?
yeah, that's what I was told.
What's the date? Does it
Like
say?
10th to the 16th or something like that? Yeah, 10th through the 16th.
Yeah, I'm not sure
So they must not be
why
doing
they
Labor
moved
Day
it.
weekend anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird.
So that is the update there on the lifeguards. So if you know of anybody, please send them my way. Really.
Everyone I know in this town is sitting in this room.
Is there any lifeguards that you've lost? Is there like a underlying reason, or is it just?
No, well, I don't know. I hired all of the lifeguards from Nicole's, so I've been in the job a year. Nicole was my predecessor, and I hired all of her last summer, all of those guards. So I don't know if some of them were, or more of them were in high school at the time. So now it's, I think there's The pool manager is, I think, a sophomore, and I have freshman, I don't know. But they're in college, and now my high school seniors are going to college in the fall, so I'm really bumming. But the good news is my high schoolers are gonna help me with my swim program, so that's awesome. So wish me luck, and if you have any leads or any ideas, also gonna send to Taunton, and it's probably not gonna be any good to send to Attleboro because they need them so badly, but so that's where that stands. Alrighty, so you all saw my beautiful flyers, but we started an investment series, and Colin, who isn't here tonight, he will be hosting them with one or two people from the financial industry, and they're going to be on a variety of topics. We're going to do one a month. We've just committed to 3 months at this point. So February 25th, we have March 31st, and April 28th, and each one will be on a different topic. So we're hoping to get different, I mean, some people might want to go to all of them, but we're trying to target different audiences so that we have something for every age, depending on, where you are in the process. So the first one is on the nuts and bolts of investing. So for someone who doesn't know anything about it and might want to get started, this will help you get familiar with the language and what to think about. All the focus is going to be on layman's terms, not any of this highbrow stuff, just to get you started. And then March is on retirement planning. So that is meant for people who are, 50s and 60s, where retirement is looming and what to do to get ready. And then in April, we have Dream Big, Save Smart, Start Today, which is more for younger people who are looking to maximize longevity, to help, plan for the future. We've talked about maybe doing women in investing, doing something for seniors who are already retired that might want to dabble, and about funding college for, if you wanted to start now for Haven, because it'd probably be $1 million a year by the time you get there. Yes, and actually, there's a lot of parents here, so I'm excited about that. We have, I don't know, about 10, 15 people who have RSVP'd already. And they're bringing refreshments, so that's nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Spring Fling, the social event of the elementary calendar. So that is March 13th. And did a couple of things here. So flyers just went out to the schools last week. So they should be going home, or should have already been sent home to the kids. So our Spring Fling is for grades kindergarten through 5, and it's a family dance. So it could be a father-daughter, mother-son, mother-daughter, whatever. They can bring siblings. There has to be an adult. We have a DJ, pizza, ice cream, cookies, water. We have a photographer who takes pictures, and they get all dolled up, and it's a fun night.
They get all dressed up. It's so cute.
Yeah. Last year we ran into a couple of problems. The check-in process was very cumbersome, and we needed to figure out a way to speed that up. So I actually reached out to Stephen a month ago, maybe.
Have to get back to you.
Yes, you did. Abby did too, yes.
Okay, good.
So one of the issues they had last year was just so many people prepay. Not everybody. You can walk in at the last minute and pay at the door, but the people who prepaid still had to wait a really long time to get in. So we tried to streamline that this time. And so Stephen is bringing us 6 maybe, volunteers. And we're going to have, a walk-in section and a prepaid section. We're going to divide them by alphabet. The people who have prepaid should be able to walk in, get a hand stamp, instead of the bracelet, because it's faster, gonna stamp their hands and get them in. There's really, no reason they should have to, wait a long time. So we will divide the registration list by, I don't know, maybe there's 6 people, how many letters of the alphabet, I don't know. So there'll be 8 letters
Do
per.
like an A through L.
A through F, or yeah, exactly. So that people, and then, I don't know, say maybe Audrey and I could say, okay, did you prepay? Yes, what's your last name? Okay, you need to go to this table. And that way, they might have a short line, but they're not waiting in this massive line trying to get in. I spoke with one of the art teachers at the elementary school, and she has arranged for the kids to color the flowers like they did last year. So I did the coloring pages. I did different flowers this time. Nicole's son Brody just colored his last week, or this past week. So those are being worked on. So what the kids do is they color the flowers, they cut them out, and then we have rolls of paper, and we glue them onto the paper, and then we hang them out like a decoration. So it makes it springy, because it's a spring fling. It actually looks really nice. So that is underway. Horizon Beverage has agreed to donate the water again, so I need to give them a head count once we get closer. Roach Brothers has agreed to donate cookies, which is awesome. I'm grateful to them, especially since they're not going to be here that much longer, but they still agreed to donate. New England Ice Cream agreed to donate, and I was hoping to do a pizza contest. So have the kids, have a way to vote and have get pizza donated from 8 different places. Well, but it'd only be 3 pizzas or something, you know what I mean? If you had that many places.
I ran into trouble getting, like last year, Home Plate was really good. And then the year before, I asked like a bunch of places. I only heard back from like 1. It was kind of hard. And
Did you ask for, what was the ask?
Just pizza at a discounted price.
Really? So people even at discount weren't interested?
Oh, really? No.
I know Norton House of Pizza has asked more recently that they wanted to be involved more in the community.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, I
maybe
mean-
there's like things that have changed.
Worst case scenario, I know that Home Plate was like really accommodating last
Yeah.
year. They were
And there's
Yeah.
really good. Everybody,
They agree with
the
pizza.
feedback was very positive about it. They definitely gave us a good price.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do, only because I don't have the time to do it. So as you'll see as we go through, there's a lot of things going on right now, and all of this coincides with the pool being open, swimming lessons, and Founder's Day. So all of this is,
Stacking up.
yeah, so I just can't, even though I really would like to save the $400 we spent on pizza, I just can't do it. So one of the things, and I had hoped to make this plea to a larger audience, but I really do need help. I'm just, it's budget time. Parks and Rec is always vulnerable. This is particularly a difficult financial climate we're in right now with the town. I don't know what's going to happen. They're talking about cuts. They haven't talked specifically about Parks and Rec, but it's always vulnerable. So the more we offer, more this department offers the town, more visible we are, the more valuable we are. We seem. And so I'm trying to ramp things up and do things that are visible and really provide a good service. But I'm only one person, and I'm 25 hours a week, and it is a government job, so there's a lot of bureaucracy here, and that takes up a lot of time. So any help is desperately needed, even just to, again, call places or show up at a board meeting would be nice, or we got the egg hunt, we got the spring fling, I got to touch a truck. I'd like to do a spring vendor fair. I don't have time to run it, so I was gonna toss that out to the board if somebody wants to do it. It actually, out of all the events, is really not heavy-duty in time. You know, you get the forms, you send the forms out. The forms are already created. Last time, we had a lot of heavy lifting because it was the first time. But now you just change a few dates and send it out.
Is that like
and-
the same thing that
did
we
it,
did?
yeah.
Yes,
okay.
exactly. So we would have to see if, you know, the nice people at Life Church would let us use their field again.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, thank you. I was hoping that was the case.
As long as we're in that location, just not to freak you out, but we might be moving elsewhere in Norton. We'd
Oh.
still have a field because we want to do more stuff with you guys, but it would be
Uh-huh.
more space.
Will be more space. Oh, wow.
Wait, aren't you renovating? Didn't you just?
No, we own it. Yeah, there's a school that rents from us, but
Oh.
No, renovate. Didn't you just do?
Oh,
didn't
so-
you do work? In
we did in the cafeteria. That was actually, we needed to because there was water damage to that building, and so we had to
okay.
replace the flooring and stuff. But
Got it.
yeah, so we're in the works, maybe. So we're working on it.
Would it be before Touch a Truck? Because
When's Touch a
I did
Truck?
talk
I'll
to you
I'll
about
keep
Touch
you,
a
I'll
Truck.
keep you in the loop.
16th.
Okay, because
But
I
I
did talk
believe-
about Touch a
yeah.
Truck, and that is May 16th.
Yeah.
Is that,
I believe right now, like, Touch a Truck should be safe.
a touch
Don't worry.
safe? Okay, that's good. Okay.
I'll keep you updated.
Possibly
on
safe.
anything. Yeah.
And so when you say you will have a different field, or you will still have that field?
We're
Not to, I don't want
Yeah.
to reveal any secrets,
no, no,
but,
but no, we're just in the really early stages, but no, hopefully
A different
It
field.
would be a different field, but
Okay.
we'd hopefully have more space.
okay.
be able to
Wow,
be
because that
utilized.
field is so huge. That's,
It's big,
you know, yeah.
Working on it.
Okay, all right.
I'll keep you updated.
Okay, thank
No
you.
worries.
All righty. So spring egg hunt. Unless there's, anybody else want to, oh, so spring fling. I do need volunteers. Stephen is providing 6, I think it's 6, or Abby
I won't
is.
be there for it, but
Yes.
So she's figuring out those details.
Yes, and we do need to query the volunteers.
Do do you want them to come here, or like did you have or send specific query forms to Abby to fill out, or they? is
no,
there
but
a
I can
generic
do
one
that.
They need to turn in.
So the query form that you have, I
Yep.
can either give you a bunch, or I could just email it to her.
Okay.
So they will have to follow the same procedure. They need to print out the form, fill it out, and bring it to the treasurer office, and they will, you know, they will run it.
Just for timing wise, does it need to be like 3 weeks before the event that it needs to be in, right? Isn't there like a timing with the quarry,
Yeah,
I don't think it's that long.
like a week or two?
Yeah, I remember.
they can get, so here's the thing, they can get a query result in an hour. That isn't the issue. The issue is whether the person who runs the query has the time to do it at that point. And we're talking, you know, so I would say if we could give them at least a week, that way she, and God forbid she's on vacation, and she is gonna have a baby. So, that's,
So as soon as possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody will have to run them in her
Yeah,
absence. I wish
yeah.
Janice was here, because Janice
be able
works
to-
in the treasurer's
yeah,
office. And I don't know what the plan is to cover, but obviously somebody's
Somebody's
gotta do
gotta
that,
cover it,
yeah. So, right now, from the board, I have, for volunteers, I have Heather and Audrey and myself. So, yes.
Need help setting up?
I need help, so, yes, there's several things that I need, and I don't have to have, like, somebody doesn't have to commit to the whole night, but I need help setting up. I need help picking up things. So someone has to go to Roach Brothers and pick up 500 cookies. Somebody has to go to New England Ice
That's a
Cream
dream job.
and pick up 500
think that.
ice cream bars. Horizon will, we will arrange for the water to be delivered. Somebody has to pick up pizza.
I can help picking up, like,
Okay.
you know, setting up, picking up, whatever.
Oh, that'd be awesome, thank you.
I picked up New England ice cream last year. I just have to see, I'm working that day, so I just gotta see what time I said I needed to leave.
I mean, I'll do whatever. Now,
Okay.
I don't know who's doing the pizza this year, but what we did last year was we only picked up half
Right.
And then they delivered the other half
Halfway through, right?
halfway through so
Yeah.
that everything stayed hot.
Yeah. And I think that's fine. I am going to reach out to Home Plate and see if they'll do the same thing that we did last year. I just haven't had a chance to do that because, as I said, I was envisioning something else, and I
And
finally.
I'm sure you have like the invoice from last year, right?
I do,
So you
yeah.
can see what we paid
Yeah.
and how many we got.
Yeah,
Because
we had 19 last year. We had
And did we-
6 pepperoni and the rest were cheese.
we didn't have an excess of.
We had
I think it
two,
was-
two pies left over,
Yeah.
because one went to the police and one went to the fire department.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not
In the grand
bad.
scheme of things, that's not bad
That's,
because
like,
the year
practically
before we
spot
had
on.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
The year before we had way too much.
I just don't have a head count yet
Right,
because
right. But at least you have the invoice to compare it to, so if you
Yeah.
have similar numbers, then.
right, exactly.
I can pick up the ice cream again. I'll pick
Okay.
it up and then head there, set up, and then I'll
Just
have
let
to
me,
pick up the kids.
whatever you need me to pick up or do, just let me know. I can help set up in the setting up stage.
That'd be good.
I can swing by Roche Brothers.
Okay. So Heather, and then you would do that, so the ice cream needs to be picked up before 4.
I can be there at 3:15.
Was there an issue last year with the ice cream having adequate storage?
No.
Freezers?
No.
Okay.
As soon as I got there, the janitor,
Okay.
told me-
Maybe that was, at some point that happened?
I originally put it in like one of those box ones, and then he moved it into the big freezer.
Right, right.
So it wasn't an issue. And he actually kept bringing it out when stuff got low. He just replenished it for us.
If we have any left over, we could bring it to the egg hunt. Because it's, what is it? Yes, I know, okay.
There also becomes this long-term storage, like,
Yeah,
do we have a
where
brick
would we
freezer
store it?
that we can put the ice cream in until the ice cream?
Well, we have, it depends how much it is, but we do have 2 freezers at the pool.
Okay.
They are the top, it's a standard refrigerator you would have at your home, and
We
they're
had more ice cream than that last year.
left over.
Yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
then we would just take what we could,
I took a box
Good.
home,
yeah,
box or two. I know, like,
yeah. Well, we could, we can figure that out, but what if we have enough, that would
I mean,
be
it's a
good.
possibility, but
Yeah,
just so you know, there might be more than you anticipate.
okay. So maybe I need to ask them for less. They agreed to 500, but if we,
500 ice creams.
yeah, last year we had about 500 people, pre-registered.
I mean, the kids come up and they're like, bam, bam, like they keep coming up for the ice cream. So
Yeah.
if they're gonna give us that much, just take it. It's-
Okay.
Yeah.
The kids will not stop eating it all night. So
Okay. All right, so moving on, spring egg hunt. We are looking at March 28th because Easter is very early this year. And because I learned from all my rain for 2019, I have a rain date that will be before Easter, because last year we actually had it after Easter. So same as what we've done, Mark has agreed to be our bunny. The Girl Scouts are filling eggs. We're collecting candy donations. This Tillis family donated 1,000 pieces of candy, which is great, but we need about at least 3,000 pieces, so we still have a ways to go. I know Carol, last year you collected some. I don't know if, the Girl Scouts are coming March 7th to pick up the eggs and so, did I not put a date on here again? March 2nd is the deadline for donations for candy.
Do you need volunteers for that?
To work it?
Anything.
Yeah.
Um,
just work it.
If you have anybody that can do face painting,
Okay.
that would be awesome, because Sonia
have-
used to do the face painting.
They would have constant business from us for the face painting money.
Yes, and we also need someone for Founder's Day for face painting too.
Okay.
I have all the supplies, I just don't have someone with the talent. So, and Sonia used to do it, but she has moved on to bigger and better things. So, Girl Scouts are doing the eggs. Nima is already in to do the roping off and the stakes, and they did such a phenomenal job. They're so good. And so the lady, we usually have a petting zoo and a pony that we do pony rides. the lady that we use, she comes from somewhere in central Mass. She charges us a little over $500 for a petting zoo and a pony. That's a lot of money. We don't charge for this event either. There is a Norton resident who takes part in the parade. Her name is Karen Keegan, and she's starting a business doing the same thing. So she's gonna charge us $100, and she's bringing pony with a wagon. So before we could only have one child at a time do it. This time they will. She says she could fit, depending on the size of the kid, it could be 5 to 6 kids at a time. And she also bringing the baby animals. So we're thrilled about that for the $100, yeah. So that's great. And probably I'll have to buy some candy because, you know, we're a third of the way there, but we got a ways to go. Any other thoughts on the egg hunt? Just pray for no rain. Pray for no snow, because that's the other issue. At the end of March, it could be snow. I remember all the eggs were stored over at the pool, because that's where we have it. And I had to literally trudge through snow that was up to my knees to get the eggs to give to the Girl Scouts. You find it funny. I don't. Those eggs are now in the basement. They will never be stored there again.
Listen, I hate snow, so whatever.
Are you trying to raise your hand? Yes.
Do we know when opening day for baseball is in this
I
town?
don't.
Because that was the big,
That was for the rain date, yeah. Yeah, it's usually like the second, well, when was the egg hunt last year? I think it's later than this. They certainly won't play if there's any danger of snow, but I don't think they start as early as March.
I think,
Yeah, I can't
I know they have
remember.
like clinics in March, but I don't know where those are held.
when was it a Sunday or Saturday last year?
It was a Saturday, but you could just Google Easter. It was the weekend after Easter, so Easter 2009.
2009?
19, sorry. I don't even know what day it is.
It's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I have to work tomorrow,
It
too.
was April 27th was our egg
Okay,
hunt.
so that was opening day. It just happened to be, our reschedule was opening day. So we're
It
well,
has to be, because I'm looking at like, I don't know, baseball and softball a little different, but like, my daughter's doing these clinics and they run from March 3rd to April 7th.
Okay.
So it was probably.
but those are like paid for and separate things, yeah.
Right, what I'm
Yeah.
saying is, so it's probably, the rain date would probably be fine too.
Fine, it's still before opening day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like putting snow date, but I did put rain date.
So what did you have for a rain date for the egg hunt?
March 4th, April 4th, sorry.
Before?
Okay, so, you will ask about any talented
Yeah.
face painters?
Yep,
That'd be
I'll
great.
ask around.
Thank you. Okay, I did email the art teacher at the high school, but she has not responded, so I don't know what that means. Probably no. Touch Truck, May 16th. So working with the Moms Club on this. They have, as I mentioned, it's going to be at the Life Church field, the current Life Church field. The equipment actually won't be an issue because we can get all the town vehicles. Bob Salvo's one of our board members. He has a lot of big equipment. He would bring fire department, police department. So the truck end of it is pretty easy.
Cool.
The Moms Club was thinking about, I should back up too. The Moms Club is co-sponsoring the egg hunt. They've donated or are donating $150 to help with the egg hunt. And I've also received coupons from McDonald's for free cones or small fries to go in the eggs, and I heard today from Subway that they are also they do free cookies coupons, so those will be in. So I have to pull out the banner, but I believe these are the same sponsors from last year, so it'll save me from having to update the banner, which is one less thing and less to do and pay for. So back to the Touch Truck. So the Moms Club was thinking about maybe doing a bouncy house, And we talked about maybe having a couple of food vendors, maybe like Swamp Donkey, where you've got desserts, and one other where you could get, you know, burgers, simple kind of food. Or maybe it's just Swamp Donkey, I don't know, because they do, you know, they do kind of kid food. We were talking about 10 to 2.
Yeah, that's what's on here.
Yeah, so 10 to 2. That's on your, that's,
one
oh, it's
that
on
we
there,
have,
okay. So I've never been to one of these. I have never, you know, I don't know much about it. Jenny, who's awesome, she works, she's the new president of the Moms Club, is really gung-ho too. But we are welcome to suggestions, or open to suggestions, because it's new for both of us, so, you know, I don't know if you've taken your kids to
I've actually worked the truck to truck in Foxborough.
truck to truck.
Truck to truck, sorry.
Is, no, I'm just questioning, is that the same, it's the same thing?
Truck
Yeah.
to truck, yeah. Basically, we do it in like this big dirt parking area. You know, trucks just park in a big circle.
Circle.
You know, Foxborough Recreation sponsors it. They don't do like a bouncy house or anything like that. One thing they do is, like I know she orders these plastic hard hats, and you know, they give those to the kids.
That's cool. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Is that, they're all red, or does she do
No,
pink
they're
and
yellow.
blue?
They're like
Yellow?
yellow plastic hard hats. You know, I could actually ask her where she orders them from. And then I think she did one other thing too. I can't think of it right now, but like there's no food there or anything like that.
How many trucks or vehicles would you say she has?
Quite a few. You know, public works, police, fire.
Ambulance, yeah.
Yeah, state police.
So
Like
is
local, like-
15, 20, do you think? I mean, 15 to 20 is a good amount?
Yeah, 15, 20 is good.
So besides the vehicles, she does the hats, and that's pretty much,
I think they do one other thing. I'm gonna check with her tomorrow. And don't quote me on this, but I want to say that they do this thing where like the fire department brings their ladder truck and they extend the ladder all the way up, and they like look like dumped candy or something like that in a big open field area for the kids. For sure. I know she did the hard hats. Like I know for a fact because my kid still races around all the time.
You can get a 20-pack of the hard hats on Amazon for $10.95. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a way to get them bigger in bulk,
There's
but
probably something more.
Yeah.
Like she's probably
Yeah.
ordering them by like the hundreds. Or something.
yeah, it might be like a
I'll
Oriental trading
I'll-
thing, yeah.
Okay.
I'll talk to her tomorrow. I'll find
That'd be
out
great.
exactly. I know the hard hats. I'll find out where she got the hard hats from, and I'll just double check with her what other things she kind of little caveat she had with it.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Because it is a very popular event. Like, people
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah, and it's not something that I know, as far as I know, it's not something that Parks and Rec has ever done. So, and having the Moms Club help is a good thing, and they have obviously a built-in audience, so
I'll shoot you an email.
thank you. Any other thoughts?
No, just, you know, make sure they get there earlier than it starts and kind of just, you know, park in a, you know, perimeter around the
Yeah,
field.
yeah, and hopefully not dig up the field real well.
it's been beat up. It's fine. It's for, as long as it's being dug up for a good cause.
Oh, that's awesome, thank you.
And if you are having, like difficulty working trucks, like, kind of think outside the box because you'd be surprised that like, I've seen like random trucks show up and like, the kids like love it, they don't, you know, they're not picky, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking like, what if you
Classic
got in touch
truck.
with like Seekonk Speedway for
Yeah.
like their monster
Somebody
trucks.
definitely does bring, like, I actually think it was the state police, they had like a Corvette or something there last year, and that was really popular, but yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, there was like an ice cream truck there one year, like, you know, didn't have anything in it, because the
Right.
kids.
Oh, God, they were pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
The kids do absolutely tear
Yeah,
the trucks from like limb to limb. It's-
Yeah.
yeah.
It was funny.
There's somebody
there was a
that's-
tree company there one year, and tree tag.
Yeah.
A naked girl picture over the fly side.
Oh, no.
They might have forgotten to clean the truck
Oh,
out before they-
no.
There are a lot of trucks that take part in the parade that maybe we could
Yeah,
reach out to
yeah.
and see if they'd want to,
Maybe wheating in their bus, you know, stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
don't
Wayne's
think
good.
don't think you have to get like just police, fire, and construction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prosser would probably do it.
Say that again?
Prosser would probably do it.
Prosser, yeah. Yeah, he likes
Yeah.
parade vehicles. Okay. All right. Yay, that was some good ideas. Thank you. Okay, spring vendor fair. So, I would love to do a vendor fair twice a year. The one in the fall was really successful. I think we need to ramp up our advertising a little bit. We ran into some issues. We had some signs in the common, and that was not, we had to deal with them. And then we were supposedly, you're not allowed to put signs on 140 or 123. Those are state roads. However, they're loaded with signs for everything and you know, it's ridiculous. So, I don't think we have to follow I don't think we have to follow that rule. So I think in the future, I would get some more signs and hopefully get more people, shoppers to come in. But spring is a really difficult time for me because I'm getting the pool ready. I wanted, this year we're gonna be doing, swimming lessons, which is a first. And it's also right before Founder's Day. So there's, it's a crazy time, and I have Touch-a-Truck, and I'm going away from April 30th to May 11th. So if we are to do a spring vendor fair, I would need the board to do it. So I don't know if anyone feels that they are willing to step up to do that. If not, it's fine, but I can't do it. So, just putting it out there. Okay. Founder's Day is June 13th. And this is a mandatory. It is crazy. So when I say mandatory, we need as many hands on deck the day of, but I also need help planning. So if you can't be there on the day, like Stephen, I know you have to travel sometimes, whatever, if you can help with, there are so many details, it's crazy.
What do you do? Like, I've never been a part of
Yes,
Founder's
well,
Day,
I had never
so-
either until yesterday. I had never even gone.
First year for everyone, sir.
Yes.
It's a trial by fire.
All right,
is.
here we go.
So, it is a Saturday in June. It starts at 5 and it ends roughly around 9, and then they do fireworks. Okay?
Not just
5 p.m.,
fireworks.
right?
Yes,
No.
5 p.m.,
This
correct.
isn't-
But for the board, yeah, we get there, not quite 5 a.m., but pretty damn close.
8 a.m. 7
Yeah.
a.m.
Something, I don't know,
7
pretty
a.m.
early,
Pretty
yeah.
early. I
All
was
day
there
fun.
early.
It is an all-day thing, yeah, so.
Well, I know last year I had to be there later than I had been before. I
Yeah,
used to be
because
there
we
in the
kind of
mornings,
like, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're sleeping in this year.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
We needed you on the
No.
tail
Village
end.
Glen,
You
yeah.
needed to be on the tail end.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
So we will certainly have a separate committee to talk specifically about Founder's Day
When do those
because it,
committees meetings start.
I don't know, we can start them whenever. I'm gonna do them a little differently this year because we wasted a lot of time last year on things that,
That we kept talking about over and over.
yeah,
and over and
there was a
over
lot
and
of
over again.
repetition and it is, it's really important, I think, that we stay on track for Founder's Day because it is so big and it went extremely well. I was very pleased, and I on Facebook too, nothing but positive feedback. So, and that is so rare. So I was really thrilled about that. I hope we can improve again, and keep it going. But that requires that we kind of take a path and stick to it. I'm hoping we can get more sponsors if we start the sponsorship outreach earlier. I'd like to expand the raffle. We talked about moving the tent, instead of it being on the midway, putting it out in the field so that we're more visible and right in the thick of things. And people.
Where is it?
So it's held at the Yale School.
Yes.
And so it's a bunch of things. We have live bands. We have food vendors. We have,
Pie eating contest.
yes, pie eating contest.
Pony rides.
We had
raffle.
Big bouncy raffles. It's like a
Climbing
carnival,
wall.
really.
Carnival minus all the rides. and
Yeah,
stuff.
exactly. We had horses last year. We had a DJ, although we wouldn't do the DJ this year. Many of
Those
the,
lawn games, we can probably 86 those, right?
Oh, I think those were kind of nothing to do with us. They were just like put on by the Boy Scouts, so like.
no, she's talking
No,
about
the
the
ones that-
old-fashioned games.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So different things that we could do, and matter of fact, your crew, they might have some fun ideas to do, and if they're willing to help out and run a few things. One of the things, like the baseball team was thinking of doing a pickup game, but they ended up, it's still their season at that time, and they were in the playoffs, so they couldn't come. But I don't know, I'm just making that up off the top of my head. But they do, it's meant to be fun for everyone. Lots of food vendors, and last year we had some spectacular fireworks at the end. So the fireworks last year, we had to switch companies, and the new company, who were excellent, gave us a great price, and they undercut all the others by about $2,500. Fireworks are extremely expensive. So anything over $5,000, the town is required to get 3 quotes. It's just how it works. So obviously, I'm going to reach out to this company, I'm going to reach out to our prior company, and the other 2 companies I reached out to last year are not going to want to give me a quote again, because it's a lot of work for them. We need apples to apples. So, and fireworks are actually very complicated. You have to tell them about the cake size and all of these things, and it's whatever. So it's work to provide a quote. So if somebody is willing to reach out to a different company for me, that would be awesome. I can give you
These
the,
quotes, the
Yeah.
town requires, do they have to be like current, that you can't go off?
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
well,
Take a photo.
yes, I believe because the prices are gonna vary dramatically, and I think with everything going on with China,
Yeah, fireworks are on the added tariff lists.
right, and then we also have the whole
What year is that?
coronavirus thing, and I don't know how, like Hyundai just announced today that they have to stop production of their cars because so many parts come from China. So I don't know what the trickle-down effect for all this, it might be none, but it's,
It also might be the unknown. They might not be able to give us an answer either until.
yeah, well,
I actually found another
So,
one.
I was very happy with, this was my first experience.
That's
Just for him to
that you have
keep or
these
to
from,
photograph.
This far back.
You can either photograph or photocopy, but it's last
This one
year's.
is last year's. Maybe that's a better answer.
So you can see we have a lot of stuff there.
Yeah. And so what area of the field were you saying you needed something like creative or some sort of game? in?
Well, anywhere,
Okay.
because there's a lot of room in between these things. It doesn't look like it because we have to fit it all on there, but
But this is like where we play the old-fashioned games, and they're really not that big of a
you
deal.
could do a dunk tank. You could, we do need face painters, absolutely. We could do a baseball game.
I
You
just
could do,
wondering, I don't know if I have any face painters. I'm gonna ask. I feel like I'm becoming the face painter guy. I just don't want to promise.
I feel like
It's
Abby.
just, you're getting face painters, right? I need 10.
Do I
I
sound
feel
desperate?
Like Abby's good at it. Like I don't know why. I just feel
She
like she
probably
probably,
would.
Probably is,
creative
yeah.
and good at it.
I'm sure I have people who are really confident that they can face paint, but I don't know if they've had any experience.
Experience.
They're like,
Well-
I'll paint your face.
Well, we're,
Yeah.
we're not going to critique their work.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, and there's simple things like rainbows
Yeah.
or, you know, it's not like you have to do, and it's not like the whole face.
full
it's-
face, the
Sistine
glitter.
Chapel.
When I
Just
do
wanna
it for
tear up.
problems, we have to do it, so
Well,
not do that anymore.
no, we
Never.
can't,
Yeah.
they don't have
I'm gonna make a note
time
of that.
because the line for face painting is pretty long, so.
Yeah, I'll ask
you-
around.
You need to do short and sweet and just keep the line moving.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on when we should start with Founder's Day?
What month are we in right now?
We're in February, so we probably shouldn't start now.
Yeah, we should be getting.
We should start now.
Those letters,
Yeah,
the,
yeah.
the letters started going. What day?
Ideally, if you had an ideal number of just kind of like generic volunteers who are just available for different areas.
20.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
And if you have, all right, so don't feel obligated. I'm just gonna throw it out
I
there.
don't have that many face painters.
Okay, no, it's not the face painters. So we were lucky enough, Wheaton donated a stage to us.
Okay.
And we were gonna look at renting stages and they were really expensive. Anyway, it is very heavy. It is stored at the Hay School in one of the
Boiler room type.
it's in some room in the basement. So there are two stages. We use one out in the field for the pie eating contest, and then we have one for the bands, which is closer to the school. We normally recruit volunteers from North Cottage to help, but it's tough for them. So first of all, there's rules. So they can't get in a vehicle, they have to walk. And it ends pretty late by the time you clean
Yeah,
up
there
and all
was
that
some
stuff.
issues with them.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
have curfew.
Yeah,
Um,
getting back before curfew.
Yeah, so it's really great that they help us, but but they're heavy. These are heavy pieces. The one out in the field, we can get those, that's the pie eating contest, and we don't have to put it out there as far as we did last
Right,
time.
yeah, let's
We
not.
can revamp our
Yeah.
plan so that it's not as big of a distance. And maybe we even do it out in the
Circle.
yeah, or we could.
Or like somewhere.
Well, we definitely can't do it on the boardwalk. Is that like?
No, I was
Yeah,
thinking
say,
where.
yeah, we can't do that.
Where people wait for the fireworks, right? Put it up, have it, and get the things out, and then everybody's there.
How did?
I don't know, we
have
can
to look-
discuss
we
this
have
at a
to-
different.
Yeah, we have to do this at the
Yeah.
Founder's Day meeting.
Yeah, we can have that
We have-
discussion later, but
yeah.
anyway, if you have strong people
But
who would
they
like
are-
to
they
help.
are-
Stage.
They're very heavy.
Very heavy.
He
The
has an
sections-
89-year-old man who waitlifts.
That's true, that's true. He
79,
might be on his
79.
79, he might be on his honeymoon,
The
but,
sections of stage are really, really heavy.
Okay.
yeah. So I will call a meeting for that.
That should be sooner rather than later.
Yeah, the problem is we have a
Spring Fling's
spring
next
fling
week.
meeting at the end of the month.
Yeah, it's the 27th.
So, okay, I'll see what I can
What's the one
do.
next week?
I don't know what we're doing next week. We're doing something next week. Is
Taste of Norton
okay.
is the 11th,
Oh.
All right.
and so the following week,
When is your last spring fling meeting?
we're only having one, it's the
When is it?
27th,
27th.
We
yes,
should probably start Founder's Day the week before that.
yeah,
So
which would be the
not-
week after the 11th,
That's the week of school
20
vacation.
okay.
None of us. Well,
Are you going anywhere?
no. I'm going somewhere in March. First weekend of March.
Weekend? That's allowed, okay. You also have to clear all your travel
My
with me.
birthday.
My birthday is in March, right around the spring fling. So
Okay.
if I can make time to the spring fling.
All right, we need to bring Heather, it won't be a cake like you made Mark, but,
I'm not having a birthday this
Oh,
year.
I'm
we will give you a donut,
It's
or
a number I
something.
don't
I
like.
know what the number is, so, we will put it everywhere. Heather is 29 again.
Yeah, that's good. You call my brother and tell him that too, because he's been threatening things for years. So
Mm-hmm. Okay,
He's gonna disappear.
So,
yes, so that would be, what's
the
the,
18th.
yeah, we could do the 8th, I don't, let me check my phone.
Are you away?
When?
School vacation, 18th,
April?
February?
February.
The 18th of February? Why, what is that?
It
We
might
might
be
s-
the
might
first
be a-
Founder's Day meeting.
Yeah. What she said.
That's gonna be.
Oh, I'm in Canada, sorry. So no, the 18th won't work. I could, oops. How about the 20th? It's a Thursday instead.
I will not be available.
Okay.
I mean, we can push it to the first week of March if nobody's available this month.
25th, do you want 2 meetings in 1 week?
It's fine.
Done it before.
Yeah,
Okay. How's the 25th?
it's fine.
25th for the first Founder's Day meeting?
Yeah, okay. Alrighty. At this point, we're gonna keep it to the board till we get our act together.
Yeah.
And, I mean, we didn't have much outside help anyway, so
What time?
we'll do 7? That work, or
Yep.
We said the 25th, right?
25th, yes. I should put that.
Now you're talking March, that's the same day.
No.
February.
February. Oh, wait a minute. No,
Same day as
February.
the seminar.
That's the seminar.
Yeah.
How did I not have that on my calendar? Oh, my God.
And that's-
What time?
Thank you.
Yep.
25th is no-go?
Oh, yeah, no.
25th is a no-go.
Because I wrote it right on my calendar, so I just thought I'd let you know.
Oh, good. All
Yeah.
right, so we'll figure out another day
Yeah.
and get back to the board.
Now, Thursdays I have tough getting on time because I come out of Boston.
Well,
The
I don't
third?
know, Wednesday,
This
I'm
doesn't
sorry, it's
revolve
Wednesday
around
What
now.
about March 3rd?
It's Wednesdays. Used to be Thursdays, now it's Wednesdays.
March 3rd is the election, Carol.
Yes.
Yes.
So March 3rd, you're not allowed to have any meetings. And I'm actually working the election anyway, so.
So am I at 6 a.m.
The 10th? Is there anything going on March 10th?
Hold on. March 10th works.
Okay, I'm good. Rob?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll have to look at my calendar. I have a paper calendar. I'll look at it, but I'm pretty sure it's okay.
Okay, so March 10, Founder's Day. Okay, awesome. All right. Taste of Norton. So I know Carol has come forward on this, Audrey and Heather. Does everybody know what a Taste of event is?
I haven't been to one.
No.
Me
but-
neither. But I volunteered.
But they're fun, yeah. So basically, when you do a taste of, it's for a Taste of Norton would have restaurants from all over the town would come. People pay an admission price, and they go to the different tables, and they get small samples of whatever the restaurant wants to serve. And so I've reached out to Wheaton. They've agreed to give us the space and partner with us on the event. Our first meeting is the 11th. It's going to be over at Norton Media Center,
11th of.
February.
So next Tuesday.
Yep, at 7 p.m. So if anybody is, if either of you are interested in going, you are welcome.
I know I am on vacation on the 2nd of October,
Okay.
so I can help.
If you want to help plan, you're
Right, I can
welcome.
help
If
plan,
it's
but
up to you.
I'll be away on 10/2.
The thought was, and I haven't confirmed this, but they said in their email that they feel certain that Wheaton can bring a lot of students volunteer. So, I went to, there's a Taste of Tri-Town, which they have over in the parking lot at, Mansfield Crossing. And, like, trash was a tremendous issue. You need people to stay on top of the trash to empty them, because everybody, you think they're going around and they're getting all these samples and plates and
just
whatever.
tossing it down.
They're just
Yeah.
tossing it, and there was just, People walk away, they have their stuff, they just leave it on the tables. Sometimes the restaurants need help, so a lot of volunteers is a good thing.
We have a life group that meets on their campus, and so we can probably have that group actually be there and volunteer.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Everybody from the church was fantastic for the Halloween parade.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, they picked up, they were walking the street, they social, they did a great job.
Yeah, we found a car bumper on the.
You
on
did
the
not.
parade. Yeah, I did. I don't know who got in an accident during the parade going 3 miles an hour, but I found
There it was.
So,
Can alcohol be served at this event?
Yes. Well, traditionally they are.
Yeah.
They do have alcohol. I am sure that, I have not talked to them, but I am sure that Bog Iron will participate. So Wheaton is coming, there are 2 representatives, Kelsey, who is from the president's office, and Therese, who is from conference and events, so they will be there. They were the ones that picked the date. We were thinking like 4 to 7. I'm sorry?
This is a town-sponsored event.
It is, but it's on Wheaton
Wheaton
property.
so
Yeah,
they can
so you
do
could
Yeah.
set
it.
up that way,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I have some happy news as we continue on. So having it on the Wheaton campus brings a lot of perks to the table. One, the volunteers, obviously the space, because there's no space in this town that we could use. I hope that we don't have to hire town police, because that's really expensive for us. Presumably, they would have access to tables, so we wouldn't have to cart them from other places, and they also have ample parking if they do it over at the field house. I don't know what space they were looking at, but
What was the timing? 4 to 7?
4 to 7, yeah. Or maybe we could do 5 to 8. I mean, we'll discuss it at the
Yeah,
meeting.
but that's kind of what I thought.
But that's what we were thinking. And the alcohol question, I did mention to them initially that we would like to have a wine and beer vendor. I don't know, so my husband works for Horizon, and Horizon is a really big supporter of Parks and Rec. So I wonder, Horizon doesn't, they sell it, but they don't work for the wineries or anything, but I wonder if they could put us in touch with a winery that might be willing to do this. There's a winery in like Woonsocket that's actually pretty good. There's one in
Diamond
Pawtucket.
Hill.
Yeah, Diamond Hill. So they might, being local, they might want to do it. So I don't know.
It's Westport.
Westport's another one. They have really good wine. Yeah.
Farmer's Fizz is amazing.
What is it?
Farmer's Fizz. It's like a champagne wine.
So, we'll kind of iron that stuff out before, at the meeting and see.
And those would also be paid for. That doesn't include a ticket. Like those, you have to buy your beer and
Yeah,
wine.
I'm sure that's gonna be
That's-
something separate.
That's how anyone that I've ever been
Yeah.
to, beer and wine was always sold separately.
Oh, see, no, the ones that I've gone to, including the Tri-Town one, you get a little
Like
pour,
tickets,
but
drink
it's
tickets?
free. No.
Yeah, I've been to those two where you get like 2 tickets and then the rest you
Yeah.
have to buy.
Oh, I don't know, we could talk about that. We'd have to talk to the
My
vendors and
wife
see.
actually just went to one. She was visiting her mother in Arizona, and that's exactly how they did it. You got tickets, and those tickets were, for like your pours.
Yeah.
And then if
And they
somebody-
must have to card people as they come in?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it actually, what the vendors did was they sold their bottles, so if somebody had like a glass of wine that they really liked, they could
Purchase
have
the
the
bottle.
They could
option to
sell it.
purchase a
Yeah.
bottle.
That's a really great idea. I wonder if that's
We'll have to iron that out.
if that's legal in Massachusetts or in Norton. But bottle for consumption off premises.
Yeah, it can't be open.
that's
Yeah.
just-
They have to like buy it
it's
and
just-
it's like a
Yeah.
retail.
It's almost like, them giving out a sample and if somebody likes it, inevitably somebody's probably gonna buy some
Yeah.
bottles. But yeah, that's like the one my wife went to, that's how they did it.
Yeah.
You got like 3 tickets or something, whatever
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
amount of tickets were, and that's how many
Yeah.
samples you were allowed.
Yep. And the rest you have to buy.
Yeah, Tri-Town they had, like if you go get, it's probably not the same shape, but if you get a salad at Alberto's and they put the dressing in the little cups, you got that was your serving for, but they didn't charge for it, it was included.
I mean, I guess it depends on what the sample is, if you're getting a glass or if you're getting like. a-
Yeah, no, they didn't do a glass,
Yeah.
but, yeah. So we had 4 people from the community volunteer without being asked to help on this committee, so I'm thrilled about that. Some of them just like to go to these events, and some have a lot of event planning in their background, so, yeah, so it'll be nice to have a big group, and hopefully if we can divide and the labor up, we can really do this in a big way. And I was thinking, selling tickets through like Eventbrite, which I don't know how to set that up, but a lot of people, that's how all these events, how you buy your tickets.
Yep.
So that would save us from actually having to print tickets,
Yep.
which would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's a big expense too.
I guess you just have to figure out how it gets to you, into your account.
Say
Not
that
to you.
again?
I guess you just have to figure out how it gets linked to
I
the
think
Parks
you
and
have
Rec
to-
account.
I think when you create an account, you have to put all your account information in.
So then it can
And
get
then
linked.
as, like if I buy my ticket, then the portion of the proceeds that doesn't include whatever slice Eventbrite gets
Yeah.
would go into
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
whatever account. I
How much do
assume.
they take? Do you know?
I don't know offhand.
Yeah. I
I
have
looked
to-
into it for a different group at one
Yeah.
point. I can do it again.
Yeah, I have to look into that too. The other thing is, so we'll have to discuss this with Wheaton, but obviously there's a lot of expenses connected to this
Yeah.
too. So the money has to come into the same place that it goes in. And I don't know that Wheaton is looking for a portion of this. I don't think they are. They didn't imply that they are either, so, I'm sorry?
So it's awesome.
Yeah. Someone did raise, so I put a post on Norton Neighbors, just informal, and said, hey, if we did this, would you be interested? Because I didn't want to go through all this work and then find out, oh, nobody wants to go. And a couple people said, well, who's going to, who's the money going to? And somebody else said, well, Parks and Rec, of course. And I was like, yes, because of course, that the of course is yes, because again, you know,
Being used for a future event. It's
Yeah.
not,
yes,
you know,
exactly. It's not going in my pocket, it's just going to the department, so.
Oh man, I was hoping this was the year we're gonna get featured.
Yeah, well, you can keep hoping.
We're gonna
Keep
be
dreaming.
volunteers.
Keep dreaming. So, in your packets of stuff, there are sign-up sheets. If you could, you don't have to do it now. The only thing I'm asking, so Heather and Audrey and I have been talking about board participation at events. It tends to be a real struggle. And this board is really about events. That's what we do. We don't decide whether to grant a variance, and we don't decide whether to increase the tax rate. We do events. So it's really important that we have people to help run the events, because I can't clone myself. And so Spring Fling, well, now we have Rob, which is great, so, but we only had 2 people for Spring Fling. And that's, you know, that is actually one of the biggest fundraisers for Parks and Rec. It brings in a lot of money, and that pays for the other events. So,
And it's also board participation in general.
yes, as you can see,
how
there's an
many
issue
people
here.
have not showed up.
How
Yeah,
many people are on the board?
12,
So, okay,
12,
okay,
So
Yeah.
we're missing quite a few.
yeah.
yeah. So, you're allowed to miss one board meeting per year. If you miss a second one, you will be removed, and I will enforce that, only because I have, if I don't, this is what I have. And as I mentioned, 25 hours a week, and that, who knows
Well,
what's
and we
gonna.
need people here that want to
Yeah.
help and that want to participate. and-
absolutely.
and
Yeah.
Do these events for the town, not somebody who just wants to sit here and talk.
Yeah, make policy. So, and unfortunately, there's a few things that I wanted to vote on, and we aren't able to because I don't have quorum. This is actually really reminiscent of my first, back when the board was 5, 7 people when I first started. We weren't able to set pool rates, I think, until May,
Yep.
because we could not get a quorum.
And now it's doing the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to call another board meeting, because we have to vote on this stuff, but,
We can just call it quickie board.
yeah, absolutely, but, So anyway, if you need to take the sheets home to look at your calendars, that's fine. But I had 2 board members last time that didn't even turn them back into me. So I'm going to have to require participation. If you, yes.
Are you, like you said, we're gonna have to have another quickie board meeting to vote.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think you're ballpark looking to have that?
Well, I didn't realize we were going to have it until
Right, so.
this
yeah,
were
so,
showing.
okay. 'Cause I'm just thinking if we're gonna have it like, you know, sooner than later, we could bring them back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Or you can just,
You
you
need
know.
these back.
Yeah, just so that I know. So how
Do you
this
need a
works,
new one?
Stephen, is
Probably right on it.
whatever
Do you
you.
have another one?
Yeah, oh, sure. Whatever you sign up for, we do committees. So for example, Spring Fling, Carol has a commitment on Friday night, so she's not part of Spring Fling.
You can have it back.
Okay, thank you.
This one.
Is it empty?
No, all right, so you gotta check off like what you
Oh,
can
you gotta
attend
check.
and what you
Yes,
can't.
okay.
And put like, I put NA for like what
Gotcha,
what I'm not
okay.
gonna be able to do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the people who sign up for an event will be part of the committee. So we would,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
you know, some require more than others.
Just adding
You
all
know,
the dates in here.
Founder's Day is a beast. The Icon isn't so bad. Taste of Norton will be big. The Halloween parade takes a lot of time. The Halloween festival is on here, and I just picked a random date. I know that Abby wants to do it. She, as you may remember, we had to cancel the Halloween festival because it was terrible weather, and we ended up having it after Halloween. And Abby kind of liked that. We had tremendous turnout. It was a
great.
perfect night.
We had over 1,000 people on
Yeah.
the site.
Well,
It was really a great, great night. So I don't know that, I just threw that date there, but it might be November. And, you know, you're obviously not competing with any other kind of trick-or-treating night, so. Anyway, okay. And.
now, what
that's-
do they need for the day camp and the swimming lessons? What do you need
Yeah,
for
what are
that?
those?
Yeah.
Okay, so the day camp, that would be more than, well, so I'll tell you how we're envisioning it, and we'll see what happens. Because, we don't know if the police budget will be able to cover any of this. But, so this is a 1-week camp where, day camp only, we would focus on a theme. They would be held at Everett Leonard. We would have, because we have no money, it would have to be a volunteer leader, for lack of a better word. So let's just say we go with teamwork. So we would have activities. We would use the pool, of course, things to build team reliance, working well with others, all those kinds of things. Right now, we're looking at having it 4th graders who are going into 5th only, so they're about 10. If we're looking at capping it at 60, I guess they ran this program years ago, and
Who
The-
runs this per se? Like
it would be
who's-
Parks and Rec and the Police Department, Norton Police
But
Department.
who's doing the teamwork with these kids and doing the
So,
actual?
the plan was if we have 60 kids, we would divide them into 6 teams of 10. So I would take one. I'm working with Jake Dennett over in the police department. Mark, and I can't remember his last name, he is the other school police officer, so he would hopefully take a team. We're hoping to bring in the fire department to have, so Jen Carlino, who runs conservation, she would host a day at Edith Reed. So they would do different kinds of nature events. I would actually, they have a lodge with a cooking, with a stove and stuff, so I was thinking of doing a couple of cooking classes where they would make their lunch, you know, in groups. We would have to charge because every day would include lunch, and we don't have money for that, so the cost would basically just cover the lunch for the kids. So there's a lot of planning. We certainly could use volunteers to help, because, you know, if, for example, if Jen is taking a group of 30 kids on a a hike. She needs somebody in the back of the line to keep, these are kids. So we certainly could use volunteers, but there's also a lot of legwork that gets involved in reaching out to different organizations. Will they help sponsor, things like that. Right now, and I can't figure out how I'm gonna come up with this, but there's so many opportunities right now for sponsors, for Everett Leonard, for Founder's Day. We're selling ad space. I'm hitting everybody up for so many things. I don't know how I need to support Norton, support the town of Norton. And, you can do it through an ad at Everett Leonard. You can do it through Founder's Day. You can do it through this camp. I don't know. We'll see. We don't know if it's going to happen. We're not sure when.
What about the swimming lessons?
So the swimming lessons, I'm waiting to run the program by Mike, but the plan is to have 3 sessions. Each session will be 2 weeks, starting the week after the 4th of July. And we will offer 5 levels of lessons. So we'll start with preschool, which would be with a parent, and that would be, we'd have to cap that, I think, at 4. And the other levels would be capped at 6. So level 1, which is, somebody who's not familiar with water at all, and all the way up there. So they would be done before the pool opens in the morning, 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, and Friday would be a makeup day if there was a rain or whatever. And I have 2 Red Cross certified, 2 of our lifeguards teach over the Boys and Girls Club all year, but in the summer they don't work there, they work for me. So they'll be running the program. And so I'm right now working on the language for liability issues to make sure that the town is covered. I also have to buy equipment because I need to have kickboards, I need to have bubbles, noodles. I guess for the little kids, they do like throw toys so that they kind of, so I think I can do it for like $600. So the other thing is the cost. If you are a family pool seasonal, if you have a seasonal family pool membership, you would pay $75 a kid. If you don't, you would pay $110 a kid. So that would hopefully encourage people to get the pool pass, which would be awesome. So if we had the cheaper amount, we would need 8 kids to cover the cost of the equipment. So it's pretty safe to say we could get 8 kids over the course of summer, so we wouldn't lose any money. But the Parks and Rec director in Easton said that swimming lessons is where they make all their money.
What, as far as like volunteers, what do you need help for that? Is it more just upfront planning? Because it's not like we need to be there for the lessons or anything, right?
No, you wouldn't need to be there for the lessons. Yeah, I don't even know, I really probably shouldn't have put it on here. At the time I made this up, I was still trying to figure out what to do, how to conceive of them. But I met with these 2 lifeguards, and we I actually met with them earlier this week and kind of mapped it out. So you can just actually kind of cross that one out.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know some of these are so far away, who knows what they're doing, other than Rob, who knows he's going away on October 2nd. Who knows what they're doing. And when it comes to these events, in many cases, I need bodies on the day of, but I also need help planning and organizing and doing the legwork. So if you can't be there, but you can help plan it, or, arrange for whatever, get tablecloths for the, you know what I mean? Buy things and do things and do some of the legwork. That is tremendously appreciated, and that counts. So, so that is the schedule there. All right. Yeah. So we had talked about, figuring out a ratio, you know, like people, board members are required to participate in one way or the other in at least X amount of events. 80%, 75%, I don't know, we didn't really come up with that.
I mean, it's so close. It's like,
Yeah.
to me, I personally feel like if you're on this board, you should be committed to the events that are on deck. And if you can't make one, just have a reason for it. But if this is a Parks and Rec board, we throw events for the town.
Right.
That's what we
Like,
do.
I guess, like, looking at some of these, like, I have 3 kids. My kids all play sports. Sports are mainly Saturdays and Sundays, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you know, a lot, like, I'm looking at some of these, I'm like, on the
But
weekends, I'm usually.
This is the thing, if you on
don't solve
here,
the sports.
if you know this ahead of
Yeah.
time and you put it out, but last time we did this, there was people that turned it in and didn't check off anyone.
Right.
Why are you on this board if you can't even attend one of these meetings? I think it's certain situations like this where you have kids, I have kids, we know there's things going on,
Yeah.
people have other commitments. Just put it out there, you know what I mean? And it's like, if you can't, make as many as you can, knowing
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
this is an event-driven board. And if you can't participate in an event, don't be on the board. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
even-
a little more stern as far as what the ratio should be, but I think it's situational.
Yeah, and things happen. Like Janice was supposed to be here tonight and she had a family situation and that's totally fine.
Yep.
You know, things happen. You're going away, I'm going away. But I have, unfortunately, there's a lot of people on this board who don't go to any events. And even if they do, they don't help. And that's not useful. So if we can come up with a policy, vote on it, and adhere to it, then, you know, I've had this conversation, made this plea, and told people, if you can't do it, please step down. You know, there's no hard feelings. If you can't fulfill, and yet, none of the people have left, yes. So if we do have a policy, and people do not live up to the commitment, then we have a way to remove them so that we can I keep expanding the board, you know, the select board has been great. You know, we're up to 12 members now because there's so many more events and we need the people, but it hasn't increased the participation. So,
How much do you need for a quorum?
we need 5.
Okay.
Yeah, and I don't have it right now, which is just amazing to me. And I have only heard from, I'm sorry?
12 members, we need 5.
Well, there's only 7 voting members.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That makes more sense.
yeah. So
Thinking
how,
all together.
yeah, how it
We're
works
getting late in the
with,
day, guys.
yeah. So the permanent members, I think is what they're called. If they're not here, an alternate member can vote in their place. So if we had one more member, Carol could vote and we would be fine. But we are not there, so it's frustrating, because I am trying to run a department, and now I've got to have another meeting, and we still haven't voted on some things that are important, like,
Pool rates.
yeah, minutes, for example.
Minutes.
Yeah, the minutes.
Pool rates.
Pool rates. So, anyway, and there's a lot of stuff that we're discussing that they're not here, and and they're missing my presence, so, you know. So, maybe we should, what do you think is a fair amount here? So you're hard, what do you think?
I'm hard.
So what is your thought? I know you're looking at me, but you need to say.
So, I understand they're not yet finalized, but like, for instance, how do you see the dare camp and the swimming lessons factoring into the event sign-up sheet? Because like, I should be nowhere near a pool.
Well, that one's off the sign-up
Yeah,
sheet, so cross that
the
one
swimming
off.
lessons you don't have to worry about. I shouldn't have put that on there.
And, like
The dare camp,
the camp, I understand it needs to be volunteer led, but like I couldn't do a whole week of camp
no.
Yeah,
for many
same.
reasons.
Right.
I don't think any, this
Yeah,
work.
but you
and
have a
kids
full-time
and-
job.
Yeah,
Right.
Okay.
But
So,
before I throw out a number like, oh, everybody should attend 90%, I want to know
Mm-hmm.
how things like that fit into your vision of what.
I
Events
say
are.
90%, but I think they need to be the reoccurring events that we have every year.
Mm-hmm.
I think like the seminar and
the seminars are very low maintenance.
yeah,
really.
it's low
Yeah.
maintenance, but I think it's like the major events that we're attracting large crowds of people
Like
and
Founder's
where
Day,
like Founder's Day,
parade.
even like I wouldn't even say spring fling or the spring vendor fair would be a part of that because it hasn't been established yet. If it's an established event that's been on this board, that's been in this
Oh, I didn't put the fall vendor fair on
that
there.
hasn't that's been a part of this
I want you to know that you
Parks
put
and
in
Rec
Halloween
for a
stuff
decent
on
amount of
there
time.
right
I
now,
feel like it
stresses
has to
me
be
out.
90% participation.
Can't think that far ahead.
No, and that's fine. But,
Like-
so here's the thing you gotta avoid, is that there are several people on this board who have never come to an event. Never.
But yet sit
Not me.
here,
Yeah.
but sit here and complain.
Oh yeah,
So-
I understand.
We all know.
Yeah.
And want things so that they can participate remotely, and I understand that remote participation can be helpful in some situations. But like,
Yeah.
it's the missing stair theory. I don't know if you've heard that, where you learn to work around, like you walk down a staircase, you know that the stair is missing, so you learn to walk around it, you change your pathways around it. We have some missing stairs on the board. I understand that, and we're trying to work to make sure that we can fix those stairs as needed. But I just, like, I think Founder's Day should be mandatory.
I think Spring Fling and Egg Hunt, Founder's Day, Halloween, and Festival of Lights. It's 5 events that are reoccurring every year
Right.
for this board. Those should be mandatory. Everything else that Sharon has created thus far that have added value and monetary value, if she deems, hey, I need a lot of participation,
Right.
we can't say it's mandatory, but like for instance, Taste of Norton,
Does it
that's gonna
be big?
be big and need a lot of people.
Right.
But if somebody can't make it to that because it's not listed as mandatory, then there's some leeway. But I think at least the top 5 need to be mandatory.
And the other thing is
I'm
that,
already committed, I don't go to spring fair no matter what the spring's like,
But what's your reasoning?
because I work bingo.
yeah.
So
But the thing is, you're
that's
at
thing,
the
there's-
other ones.
Yeah, there's
Right,
you're somewhere else. You cannot be there. If
Yeah.
you just don't want to go because you don't want to go or you feel inappropriate being there, guess what? You can stand outside the door and collect tickets. You don't have to be inside.
Right.
Yeah. Or you can help set up.
Or you can help set up and leave.
Yeah, and then leave.
Like exactly.
Yeah.
There's
Or sit at the desk and check them in and then leave.
and then leave. Exactly.
You know, I mean.
you don't have to be there the whole time, but I think the 5 major ones, we need to have full participation of this board. Otherwise,
And my vision for this department is to make ourselves visible to as many different demographics in this town as possible. We try to serve the children well. I think we do the little kids pretty well with the egg hunt and the Festival of Lights and Spring Fling. But there's a lot more here that we can offer. You know, swimming lessons will certainly serve that group, but you know, Taste of Norton is a way to get on a whole different group of people's radar.
Yeah.
So to do that, the mission, in my eyes, the mission for this department is to bring services to the greatest number of people possible, and so highly visible. It's important that we do it well, especially being the first one. You know, people are going to like, oh, I paid $15 or $20 for this, and well, you know, it needs to be done right.
Yeah.
Is there you guys mentioned like remote participation. Is there a plan for something like that? Is that an option?
There
I'm
was-
just saying that because like I
I
know
know you're traveling a lot.
I'm doing a good amount of traveling at places where I will have Wi-Fi, but I like whether it's like there's a couple weeks in the summer I'm going to be speaking for like in New Hampshire or elsewhere in the country, and so like I just won't be
Sorry.
here.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm
No.
just having a flashback to that conversation we had. I'm sorry.
About what you do before your speeches.
Big speeches.
Can I tell you? I think about
I don't know
that
why
all
that
the
popped
time.
into my head. I
All the time.
apologize.
It's all
PPD
good.
all the time.
PPD, yeah.
Anyway.
But yeah, so I'll be doing that elsewhere too. And so yeah, so like is there an option for that? Because like I want to participate in like the 4 meetings and then the bigger events, at least planning and stuff like that.
Sure.
But,
Yes. So the planning meetings, you don't have to attend all of them. You know, as many as possible is good.
it's
Some,
helpful if you
some
can.
like Founder's Day will have many, and some we won't. Like
yeah,
the
'cause I
parade, we also have
understand
many.
It's
Sure.
way more helpful when somebody's actually present than asking you
Yes.
to repeat because their mic isn't working on their laptop
Yes.
every 5 seconds.
We had to vote 1 or 2 meetings ago on whether we wanted to allow remote participation. And this was for voting members. So this was like for an actual board meeting, and it was not accepted.
Okay.
However, if we had a committee meeting and it's not a vote, you know, if you wanted to sit in, the issue we have is the technology. I mean, we'd have to put you on, I guess,
Somebody's phone or
On a
FaceTime,
phone, yeah.
somebody's
FaceTime
FaceTime.
somebody.
Yeah, on the
yeah,
computer.
something like
yeah.
that. So I wouldn't have an issue with that, but it can't be a board meeting. It could be, you know, we're talking about
Yeah.
Founder's Day or whatever,
Yes.
sure.
Because I like the idea of having those like 5 you said as like these are our big ones, these are our non-negotiables because this is what Norton does regardless. And then having the other ones be aim for maximum participation, but if you can't, let us know in advance because that's like we talk about it at our church. Like I tell our volunteers we do this every Sunday, so like be prepared. Like don't be surprised. Oh man, it's Sunday. I didn't like.
Yeah, like, oh, I forgot.
Yeah, and so like this is what we do, and so when it comes to like these events, like you've done a really good job of letting us know well in advance. Like it's freaking. I'm not a planner, so like it's freaking me out that there's Halloween stuff too. But
Well,
like
I
it's
am a
also.
planner, but it's giving me massive.
Okay, I'm
nonsense.
not a planner, and so I'm like, wow, I would
Well,
never plan that
you
far
Might
out.
as-
But like,
I know. I was just
Yeah.
gonna add
Oh,
that
I
one.
didn't.
Festival of
Oh
Lights.
my God.
Because that's the other one.
But
Oh,
but no, just like you've given us this in
Thank you.
advance, and so it's just a matter of like, okay, if we can, like the big ones, absolutely do them. If we can do the other ones, yes.
Yes.
But so like I like the mandatory participation on those bigger ones. But I don't know, like, I know you said that you can only miss 1 board meeting, and then the second one you're off. I don't know what that means for like these events too, like what you'd want to do for that. Because if it's just like,
Yeah, the events are different because we meet so frequently on them that I feel like you almost.
But, like,
do you
participation
have a
in it.
participation as far as like how many times you have to come? Like a board meeting, you show up, you miss 1, you're out. It's not like that with these committees. Like,
well,
we don't-
yeah. So on the second board meeting, you would be out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, not
but
the
it's not
first
like
one.
we
Yeah.
have that in place for any committee. It's like
No.
if you.
No.
Right, but I think that if you can participate in a committee for one of the members, like let's say Founder's Day, I'm there for every committee meeting, but something happens and I can't be there the day of Founder's Day. Like I don't know.
yeah, I think that's where it
We'll
has
hunt
to
her
be,
down and
like,
shoot her.
Like show.
Those are things that-
Founder's Day. We had a million meetings last year.
Right.
And I missed some of them, but
Yeah.
like,
But you were there.
but
But
everything,
you-
like,
you knew everything.
my job was already tied up. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I wasn't really gonna serve this great purpose of going to every single
And I
meeting, 'cause
think
had
these
everything-
discussions that we're talking
like,
about,
everything was booked on my end.
we
You're right,
all know
you're right.
it's not about the people in this room.
Right, but we can't make it personal.
No.
But it's not just one person.
No, it's
I
about
know.
the obligations to the board and
Right.
to the department.
I guess we need to decide what participation counts as. Like, let's say I go to all the committee meetings, I help out with Founder's Day so much, but all of a sudden I have a reason to not be at Founder's Day, surgery, something, I don't know. Pick a reason. But
Like
all
me,
of
like,
all of the prep work that I helped with shouldn't be discounted.
No,
no,
because
no,
I can't
no.
make it.
Absolutely not.
Like the festival of
So-
lights, if it snows, I can't be there. I have to go into work. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
No,
Yeah,
obviously.
And
that's
like-
understandable.
Right,
But Rob, you also go to all of these events.
right. So
Like, it's,
But if we're going to formalize a policy, we have to work out these logistics, like,
The exceptions, yes.
right, where like somebody who can't participate on an actual event, like Rob can't be there for Taste of Norton because he's going on
I'll be in
vacation.
Florida.
yeah.
I don't know who approved that, but anyway. But if he's there for all of the meetings leading up to it, and if we do it, it's going to be a big event. It's going to become similar in size, I would think, to Founder's Day, sort of, with the amount of planning it needs to be pulled off. That shouldn't be like
Counted
a
against you.
negative
Yeah.
check mark against Rob,
No.
using him as an example. But we need to have a formalized policy that spells out that like participation in committees isn't discounted because you can't make the event. Both the planning and the actual event, running the event are incredibly important, and we'd prefer both. Perfect world, we prefer both. We prefer everybody to show up to board meetings and be able to vote, but we need to, I think, if we're gonna set a percentage to it, we need to absolutely nail down how we feel about participation versus actual event day, or
When
there's
is
a
the
lot of
next
logistics.
board meeting?
May.
What is this? Yeah, February.
I think it's May.
Not including the quickie that we have to have to
Yeah,
approve
I
the
don't know
minutes.
how you feel about this, but you could always draft something up, and in May, it gets talked about, voted on, it can get talked about, tweaked, voted on, you know what I mean? But I just feel like right now, we're just kinda,
Right.
Yeah. Well, after
Right
this.
now, we're laying out
yeah.
the need for the
Right.
policy.
After this meeting, maybe I draft it up and it's at this quickie meeting and we just hash it out and it goes into effect immediately, because by May, there's 2 more events that are down. And I don't know when in May, but, you know, the touch a truck might be,
Heather, I understand what you're saying, and I think we need to write something in there that,
right,
There
we're just
is
kinda
an-
spitballing right now, unless you
Yeah.
have something on paper that can be tweaked or voted on.
yeah,
Right.
and there has to be like an exception. If you've, yeah, if you're going away or something comes up, but if you just don't wanna go because you don't wanna go.
Sometimes I really like pajamas.
the 12th is the next board meeting, May.
Maybe.
Right, but
Yeah.
based on the strengths of other committee members who are not here, anything we come up with is going to be looked for, examined, and shot full of holes.
Yes.
So whatever policy we want to go with, whether it's a percentage, like you have to do 80% of everything we do. That includes like the seminars, and that includes everything. Founder's Day is mandatory. If you're going to join the board, you have to commit to Founder's Day, like every year, kind of thing. If you can't commit to Founder's Day in any way, shape, or form, then you have no place being on the board, because Founder's Day is our biggest event, I would say.
Yep.
With Halloween probably being the second, and maybe everything else falling in after that. But I think we can't put a number on it, like 75% events, 80% events, until we figure out how we want everything to work. Like, do we make the mandatory events, give them the same weight that we give board meetings? Do we give our board meetings completely separate at this point? And we're working on just the meetings, how much weight does participation get? Like, I think, given the way some of the other members think, and look for holes, and enjoy exploiting holes and being that devil's advocate, that we need to sort of make sure anything that we do draft up kind of does the best we can until those other eyes are on it, to find all the holes and address them right off the bat, so that there's not less opportunity for arguing, but a little bit more structure to the arguing.
Sharon, you probably have a really good idea of what you need from board members, right?
Help.
So
Yeah. I do.
I think we can talk about it and debate it, but I think you know best what you need from us.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so if you write out something, and then even if you want to send it to a couple of us and just like, here's what I'm thinking type deal, then we can like move forward with that in that quickie meeting.
Yes, well, what I could do, or what I should do actually, is draft something and then send it to the entire board.
Yeah.
and say, this will be discussed and voted upon at the next meeting. The next meeting is an emergency meeting. If you missed today's meeting and you do not come to the emergency meeting, you are off the board, which is part of the regulations. And they should take the time to read through it, and, you know, if they disagree, well, we'll hash it out as a board and go from there. But yeah, I agree. It's just, you know, and I'm sure I'm not going to get it right, so everybody will have to voice their opinion, and we'll tweak it or rewrite it or start from scratch or whatever. But I just know that I can't continue to do all of this without the support of the board. And if you're not willing, in my opinion, if you're not willing to help, you don't belong on the board. Please resign and let somebody come on who will help. And it's as simple as that. It's not personal. It's just, it's business, you know?
All right.
So, okay.
8:53.
Yes, I know. We're gonna move through this somewhat quickly.
Well, I know we're almost at the end.
Yes. Except,
is
oh,
exciting.
you didn't get to my stuff here. Okay.
Two
So,
more pages.
yeah,
No,
well,
no, mine only has like 2 more bullet points.
Oh, I didn't know it had
it
more
says
back.
other, yes, there's the backside. Okay. Well, when you only meet quarterly, there's a lot to go through. Okay.
I was like, oh, we're done. She just has a few notes.
So Heather had brought to me an article a while ago about a clothing swap, where I don't know how to explain it, except that people, yeah, why don't you discuss it?
I remember the article. It was a group in
Washington, I think it's
New
Washington.
York, Washington, I don't
Maybe
know,
New York.
big city, bigger than us.
Yeah, New York.
Where it started as kind of similar to the Buy Nothing pages on Facebook, where people showed up with whatever clothing outcasts they had, designer, whatever, that were in great condition, and it was not a ticketed event, but like you kind of just walked in and swapped clothes. Like, oh, you have a sweater I want. Okay, I'll take that sweater off your hands because you don't want it anymore, kind of thing. I have this you want. Okay, feel free. And then I don't know what happens to leftover clothes. I would think they were donated to Goodwill or something. I probably should have read the article again.
I have it. I did print it out, which is why it made it to the agenda.
But the gist of it was that there was whole bunches of clothing hung on clothing racks. Like people brought them hung, people brought them cleaned and pressed and everything else hung on clothing racks by size. And if you needed something or your kid needed something, I don't remember if it was just professional clothing or women's clothing or if it included children's clothing. But you basically, it was a big swap meet. You go in, you get what you need and you leave. Free. Nothing, no money, nothing. And the way I saw it working for the town was maybe in partnership with one of the Buy Nothing pages, not necessarily the Norton page, was maybe we get a space, we get people who are interested with clean clothing, like maybe kids, I don't know. Kids stuff always seems to be really popular on the Buy Nothing pages.
But it's like, I think that's a great idea, but I think it has to be more than, I think it should be everything.
Right, but
Not
I
just
also- we need to
clothes.
start small to see even how it goes. Because, like, people like to abandon toys at Tricentennial. So, like, I think the first one should be small so that we can kind of be real strict. If we opt to do it, we can kind of be real strict about the kind of things that come in so that we can kind of make sure that we're not just, it's a pile of broken toys, sorry,
Yeah.
kind of thing, or it's all stuff that's wholly in a disrepair and whatever else. Like a kid's school clothes swap would be good, like weeks leading up to the new school year. Men's clothing would probably be good all year round, but like I think the first one, if we opt to do it, should be small, but I think that the intention would be to eventually grow it to like, I don't know, maybe not bedding, I was gonna say like housewares and stuff, but some kind of just swap, like, because I always have stuff that I'm trying to offload, and I'd be more than happy to, I don't have the time to keep posting it on Facebook, so I would be more than happy to show up some Saturday with all the stuff I want to get rid of that's in great condition and let other people just take it. And I can't be the only one in town, like, just,
No,
I
no.
can't.
A lot of churches do things like this.
Right.
I think it's a good idea, just, I guess playing devil's advocate, I think that
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And we
Would
just
be.
got done saying like how we
Right.
have not enough bodies to fill these events.
Yes.
And the other thing that worried me is people bring things that aren't so desirable and we get stuck with them and now we
It's
have
just
all
a
this
junk
stuff that it's on our shoulders now to get rid of.
Well, no, like, let's say we run the event from 10 to 2. At
Mhm.
2:30, we have the standing appointment with a Goodwill truck or a Salvation Army truck or whoever will come and pick it up to just take whatever's left and take it away. Like, we don't deal with any.
That's how they do the book sale at the library.
Right.
They have a company that
So-
comes like the Monday morning after the book sale and they just cart
Take
everything
it.
out. Yeah.
So I have two things. That works in a big city because in New York City, there's plenty of people who have designer clothes and love to swap their clothes.
Right.
It works. As a member of Buy Nothing, why I like it is I never have to have face-to-face interaction with somebody. They want my stuff, I leave it on my front porch, they come and get it, and I don't see them.
See, that's the part that creeps me out.
But this
is
is
people coming on my house.
but this is part of the world now, and this is what we've gotten used to, that it's like, oh, here's my address here, it's out here, come get it. And it's so much easier. And like for me, I don't have a Saturday that I'm gonna go sit and
Right.
get rid of my junk for free. I'd
So-
rather just put it on Facebook in 2 seconds, somebody picks it up. So I'm on the other aspect of
But
that.
another way to do it is rather than you come with your stuff and hang out with your stuff, if we had a space, like let's say we could take over this area for a week, have people drop their stuff off. Volunteers would have to, like, you drop it off, but you've already like sized it. Let's say, let's say it's all kids' clothes and you have it all like, okay, this bag is all 18
So
to
we'd have
24
to
months.
organize it all.
Sort of. We'd collect it, and as long as you brought it in and it was labeled, this bag is 18 to 24 month girl clothing, this is boys clothing, this is whatever, and you have it sized and it's already organized for us.
So like,
We'd just take that bag and, okay, this entire table is all 18 to 24 month
alright, so if I
clothing.
brought in a giant trash bag of baby clothes.
And it was all sized.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is 18 to 24 months.
Yeah.
So I give you my giant bag of baby clothes, so we're tasked with
So wherever we're held.
opening the trash bag, opening it all up, organizing it, and
Just fold it, put it on a table.
So
And it's done.
let me tell you something else. I also belong to a consignment sale for kids' clothes, where I go onto this computer system, I inventory my own items, I decide how much it gets sold for, and I get 65% of however much it gets sold for. I have to tag it all through the system. I print out these tags. I have to sort it all, and there's a sale 4 times a year on a certain weekend. I select a certain day that I drop it off, and there is volunteers, and they line it all up, and they do all this. But I'm also making a lot of money off of it, and the person who's running it is making tons of money. People will do that because there
There's
is
money.
money interaction.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think as much as people love free stuff, I think there's almost like a humility of like, oh, it's free. Like, I don't want the free stuff. I don't want to show my face. Like, I think there's that part of it too. But I think it's a lot of work with nothing.
yeah.
With like, it's a great community event as far as like, hey, let's have a swap. But I don't think we're going to get a lot of response. That's my own opinion, just because I know I do it for a profit.
Right.
And then there's a little bit of work that goes into it, but it's the same thing. I'm hanging it, I'm tagging it, I'm sorting it.
You make
But
money.
I'm making $600 off of it.
The front of my house. I'm not even motivated to tag it for selling.
Well, we can put this, we can table this.
Shelve this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
I think we could
a later
talk more about
discussion
it.
and see, this board might look different in 6 months or a year, and maybe we'd have, more participation, I don't know, we could see. The other thing I have under a new business, or other business, is the Cupboard of Kindness. We had talked about doing a drive for them, and honestly, just right now, I can't swing it, so I don't know if someone on the board would like to spearhead that. I did talk to the woman, her name's Gloria. At this time of year, people donate a lot over the holidays, but at this time of the year, there's a lot of empty shelves, so I know that they could use they could use stuff. She says they do have bins that could be put out. They have,
What about combining events, like, what, this covered kind of, so I wasn't at the last meeting. Is that like a food pantry?
it is, it's the Norton Food Pantry.
Okay, what about like Easter egg hunt? This is a free event, but families are encouraged to bring a couple of canned goods to the event and non-perishable items.
Or spring fling.
Yeah, but spring fling, like a couple events, like mention how it's a free event, but that's almost like kind of your admission, you know what I mean? Bring a couple of canned goods, optional, but be like, this is a free event. but-
Strongly encouraged.
Yeah, but you're.
Even my hairdresser has a basket that she
Right, so
collects.
now, instead of
food
needing
from.
somebody to kind of spearhead this, you're combining two events into one.
Yeah, I think, so thinking about the spring fling, it ends at 8, there's cleanup, it'll be dark, my car's gonna be nowhere near the door, I don't want a really big lugging, big totes of canned goods. But the egg hunt is
Egg hunt,
1 hour
touch a truck,
event,
yeah.
it's at 1 o'clock, oh, it's like at
Touch a truck.
noon.
Yeah.
And touch a
yeah,
truck's
touch a
another-
truck's a-
Touch, yes, actually,
You
we
could
had
do,
talked about doing this with Touch a
Yeah.
Truck with the Moms Club.
Yeah, so you could do, like.
No admission fee, but,
Right,
you know,
right,
do or
but-
don't, bring a donation.
Right, and if it's at the church, it sounds like we'll have some volunteers to,
To lug it, yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah, to do it here at the town hall, they did one for the holidays.
Right.
And the person who organized it actually just sent out the thank you letter, today, so we can't
yeah, so I think.
do it here because the people in this building have
Yeah.
already just given
yeah, I think
significantly.
Just combine it with the touch a truck would be perfect. Kill two birds with
Okay.
one stone.
I like that. Okay, real quick stuff going through, swimming lessons I talked about, okay. So in my research to do, and we'll have to talk about this at the quickie meeting, but in my research about swimming lesson fees in other towns, I discovered that our family season passes are way out of whack. We currently charge $75, I'm sorry, yes.
Family residence 70.
Yes, thank you. It's on this paper here. And if you look at Easton, it's 191, and Attleboro is 160. Plainville, they charge, depending on when you buy it, but even if you do the early bird, it's 155. I mean, we're way out of whack here. So,
How big are their pools in comparison to ours? 'Cause know
I have
ours
no
is
idea.
smaller.
I have no clue. But we,
Do those get closed for private events on the weekends?
I don't know. Easton's pool is only open 38 hours a week.
Right, but is it open on the weekends?
They're open like 5 hours on the weekends, 5 hours each day on the weekend.
Right, I guess the big X factor is, did they ever have to close for private events? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we have to cover the cost increase for the lifeguards. We have to cover the certification cost for the lifeguards. I'm hoping the swimming lessons bring in some money, but it's a big unknown factor. We did not increase. So from my understanding, Nicole's, the year prior to my coming, under Nicole, they cut back on the hours for the pool, and there was a lot of pushback from the town.
Yes.
So last year, we kept the past prices the same, and we went back to the increased hours, which is 58 hours a week. And some weeks, so mind you, the pool is open every weekend to the public. It's only after, so usually it's 12 to 4 or 12 to 6, but from 9 to 12, it's always open. So they do get weekend swim hours. Anyway, we can't vote on it now anyway, but I do think this is something we should consider increasing.
Our hours are a lot more than the other towns.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about doing Concerts on the Common, but Triple E happened, we're gonna do a test run, Bog Iron was gonna sponsor, and it didn't happen because AAA came along. So In retrospect, I'm thinking it might be cheaper to have it at Everett Leonard, because instead of needing 2 police, I would only need 1. We wouldn't have to rent porta-johns because we have bathrooms. I checked in with the police chief, and he said he approved Bog Iron serving on the common, and he would approve it at Everett Leonard. There's a 2-drink maximum, but, say that again? Well, that would, we would have a cordoned off area, I don't know. But we'd still need sponsors, so, I'd like to try it. What do you think?
I say definitely. I don't know how you're gonna get people only getting 2 drinks though.
Like at one time or like for the whole concert?
I think for the whole concert.
Like how does that?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm kind of okay.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. I mean, you go up and you get 2 drinks, and then you send your wife up and she gets 2, and then,
It's probably you'd have to use the ticket thing. You
Yeah.
buy like your 2 tickets, here's your 2 drinks, but same thing, like say your wife doesn't want to drink, but here's her
yeah.
2 tickets.
Like, I don't drink
Like,
beer, so,
I mean,
it's
just
gonna-
gonna be one of those things.
yeah.
It's not gonna be a perfect.
yeah.
No.
We do have to have a police officer. So if we had it on the common, we would need 2, but if we have it at the park, we only need 1.
I think it's worth it.
Yeah, and
Why
it's
not?
out of the historical district, so.
Yes.
I will say, in my experience booking or attempting to book bands for Founder's Day, if you are going to do that, you should be booking bands right now.
Yep.
Like, because I ran into this issue last year with Founder's Day, before we found Bernie, who saved us. When I tried booking, people were like, oh, I book in January and February for the summer. So,
These
'cause
would be,
what month did I start? I'm checking, like,
I don't know.
looked up,
I know, I
like,
couldn't check.
when I started like asking for bands, and I want to say it was like early spring, they were like, oh, I've been booked for
Yeah,
months.
I feel like we started planning.
Early spring, right?
oh, yeah, early,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then bands were booked. So I would just say that.
This would be a weeknight, it wouldn't be a weekend, so,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
so it might be easier. But,
I like it. I like the idea.
okay, so, just another thing to ask for sponsorship for. Okay, Steven's got his coat on, we're gonna move. Okay, we already talked about the day camp. Founder's Day, oh yeah, so Founder's Day, we did a bunch of fundraising last year with, restaurants. I would say none of them were wildly successful. Some were dismal, and others were okay. So Home Plate, Heather had organized the Home Plate event, and they reached out to her and sent an application if we would like to do this. I don't know that it's worth our time, but I thought I would bring it out to the board and let them decide. I don't have the time to coordinate and get raffle items and all that stuff. I can certainly be there if we do it, but I don't know the thoughts on that.
I think if we do any, it's only home plate. I don't think we do Chateau. I don't think we do.
Yeah, I think we made
Alberto's.
$66 or $76, 66 or something like that from there.
Yeah, they haven't been real successful for us,
Yeah.
but we don't seem to have the same kind of power that like softball teams and
It's
stuff.
crazy because my daughter, the JCS, had
they
one
had
at
theirs.
Home Plate on
Yeah.
Tuesday. We
Yeah.
went, and it was a 50-minute wait time to get a table.
Yeah.
So we were just like, let's just buy some raffle tickets and get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
like
place was packed.
Yeah.
I don't because we
But they sent out, I can't tell you how many emails I got of that,
Yeah,
how many papers
emails,
home I got of it,
Facebook,
Facebook,
the kids'
yeah.
backpacks,
Yeah.
we don't have the manpower for that kind of
dancing around the
advertising.
raffle
Yeah.
items, you know.
Yeah.
And we
And it could be, it was on takeout too. I don't know if that ours was, but it was on like takeout.
Yeah, so they kept
It varied by
I said we
restaurant.
went. It was for the. I
Yes.
think it was the JCS.
But-
Yeah, we were gonna go
couldn't
too.
get a seat. They were like, oh, it's gonna be like an hour wait.
St.
Yeah.
Mary's did one at Alberto's that was the same thing. It was crazy.
Yep.
The
We were there that
staff
night,
from St. Mary's had to bus tables because there wasn't enough staff. Then we went to Alberto's. We did okay, but we really had to beg. It's like, I don't know, we made less than $300, and the church made a ton. So.
Yeah, the church made like
Um,
1,000, I think, or something.
The other thing is, so the owner of Mac and Waltz, he does a Thursday, I think it's a Thursday night, event. So and you don't need a ticket. It doesn't, every Thursday night, or I shouldn't say every, but if you choose a Thursday night, a portion of the proceeds from that, from everything, goes to a cause. So he reached out and he would like to do something for us. So I would like
It only
to,
took 2 years to make happen.
I'm sorry?
Nothing better.
Okay.
new.
So, you know,
He didn't
if,
respond to anything.
well, he did this time. I
went
mean, I
in
didn't ask
person.
him. Yes, oh, God.
He wouldn't even talk to me. Anyway, like I
Um,
said, I'm bitter. Keep talking.
Yeah, so he did one for the veterans downstairs, but it doesn't matter. I mean, certainly if you get people to go, that's great. But if you just walk in and you want to order something, it counts. You don't need a coupon, you don't have to say you're from Parks and Rec, you don't have to say anything like that. And she said she made like over $500, so, I would like to do one
And
for
we
Founder's Day.
advertise it and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely, and we would, but,
I'm not against it, but we do lack the manpower to get word out about these things and the email blasts and everything else. And,
Social media.
yeah,
but the point is, that we don't have to, because
Right.
they're normal customers.
Right.
It
Not
is
for
included.
Mac and Walt.
Oh, yes, I'm talking about the home plate, yes, I agree
So
with
it's
you.
just
So-
like, oh, sorry, you go.
Yeah,
running out of steam, so I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry. We also have our hands out a lot, like at the town meetings with the buckets and
that's
stuff. So I
next
think that
on
we-
my list,
I think-
canning,
I think we kind of
panhandling,
burn everybody out.
yeah.
So I think we should try Mac and Waltz. I think we should do home plate, but I think that maybe that should be it.
Oh,
for
yes,
the
oh, I'm not proposing any others. Yes, and I was even on the fence about home plate. I mean, Mac and Walt, we really don't have to do much, just promote it, and, but it will be, you know, as long as it doesn't snow or storm, they're busy, so, and I think they do a Thursday night, so
So
that's
it's-
like
It's just anybody who
walks
eats
in,
there,
Correct.
like a portion of that goes to here.
yes.
Because Abby actually works at Mac and Waltz.
That's
so
right,
I
she
can
does.
I
Oh,
can get some
really?
people to make sure they stop by there.
Oh, you are so good. All right, so I have to call him back tomorrow. I wasn't in the office today, but, okay. Home plate, do we want to do this or no? Well, let me ask it this way. Does anyone want to do this? Actually do it? Reach out to home plate, organize it.
Yeah, it's gonna be for Founder's Day. Should
Yeah.
we
I feel like
discuss
we
it
can
at the
kinda
Founder's
shelve
Day
that for
meeting?
now.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna hold off on the outdoor fitness center. There was one other thing I had to ask. Town meeting, oh, yes, so, the town meeting is May 18th, and we need people to can. We actually do make some money for that.
Yes, we do.
We do, so.
Carol, you are the best at it.
I cannot do it because I have to be in there. And this is the meeting that will decide my fate. So I actually have to be in there.
I can do it. I'll add it in here.
Okay, so Carol, Audrey,
Working that night.
What's
sorry?
the date on that?
My wife's working that night.
May 18th.
May 18th. What
It's
time do
I
we-
think it's a Monday.
Much as I'd love to be.
Usually is.
6:15.
Can I bring my dog? Because I'll panhandle if I can have my dog on the leash.
Why not?
Listen, when I spend a lot of time at meetings, he wakes me up in the middle of the night, and I didn't have children for a reason.
You know what would really be interesting to bring a puppy? Everybody loves puppies.
I know.
They'll all stop.
I'll bring one.
Seriously.
What time is the
Spring
meeting?
Davis.
So the meeting, I believe, is at 7, so people start coming, especially this will be
Yeah,
a
and I
big
had
meeting, I'd say 6.
I had 6:15
At
last
the-
time.
You talking about the town meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Usually 6:15.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I had last. I'll just put 6.
okay,
Mark's usually good for that too.
yeah,
And Mark usually helps out with it.
okay. And sometimes Deborah and,
She did it once.
yeah, I'll see if she's available.
Deborah moved to.
She did.
So she may not be interested in. but
She said she was still gonna help with Founder's
Yes.
Day.
I spent
right?
New Year's Eve with her, and she is in. Yeah, so we ended up at the same place. And incidentally, her brother-in-law is the police chief. So,
Where?
Here
Here?
or-
here,
All right.
I missed that. What'd you say?
I said her brother-in-law is the police chief.
Does that mean that I can bug her? Never mind. I just want somebody to
Okay.
enforce the speed limit on Reservoir Street.
Yeah, good luck. I live on Freeman. Okay, so we're
I don't know
gonna
where that
table
is.
this. You don't know where Freeman Street is? Oh my God. I don't even know how you found the town hall. Okay.
I had to Google map it the first several times. And
The
Carol
town
told-
hall?
Yeah, get here, yeah. The first couple of times, I didn't know where it was.
So you follow Reservoir that you live on all the way to Elm?
Yeah, I know. That I
Okay.
know now, but the very first time I ever came here, I had to Google map it. And even now,
Oh my
Carol
God.
from the passenger seat there will be like, you have to, oh, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Carol tells me where to go sometimes,
Oh my God.
and not just to,
When I
Okay.
came
GW Hawk.
from Boston, I had to go looking for the registry in
yeah.
Taunton.
I think so.
I don't want to
It's-
tell you how many
Yeah,
times I
business.
drove
Yeah, I
by
think we're
it,
good.
walked by it.
Um,
It's not like the registry in Boston.
no, not at all.
I'll double check with you. I'll
Thank you.
email you. I'm gonna talk to the director. of
Yes,
Foxborough.
please do. Thank
I know
you.
the hard hats. I'll ask her the other things she does.
Yeah, whatever else they might do. Okay, thank you.
If we have nothing else.
I think, meeting adjourned?
Yep.
Yeah.
Time.
Yes, it is 9:20.